welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Jack-o'-lantern at Mansky, and I'm here today with...
Justin, Dracula the Clue. I got nothing. I always forget.
I just inserted any spooky words.
Oh yeah, we're like Simpsons Halloween special season 5, where it's like Matt. Oh, this is a spooky last name, Groening. Like, not even trying.
We're not even trying anymore.
Colin Corpse Grinder Cunningham.
Oh, I like that.
Very good.
Yeah.
And
that would be like my monster truck name.
When you're at the Destruction Derby.
Yeah.
And you go to the monster truck, you're like, when's Corpse Grinder coming? It's like, you gotta wait 2 hours. That's when he shows up.
All right, so it's Halloween season. Woo! I feel like this might go into November because there's
Did someone open a window or something? I just heard a woo. Don't you mean a oh?
Yeah, exactly. So it's spooky season, and also this episode was picked by a patron. Patreon.com/No-Such-Thing-as-a-Bad-Movie. If you want to support us, if you're on the $2 level, you could be chosen.
$2.
Yeah,
such
just $2.
What a bargain.
A month. You could be chosen where we have a draw every 2 cycles, so it's like every 3 months or so. Anyway, our winner this week was Max Dembo, who has been a patron for a long time, and they often send us recommendations of bad movies that we should watch. And this time the recommendation was Killer Klowns from Outer Space, which is from 1988, because we had previously mentioned it last week on our Ernest episode.
And how we've never seen it.
And how me and Colin had never seen it. So why not Killer Clowns?
Can
I just say my favorite thing?
No, you're beating me to it. Damn it.
Sorry. Because I only heard it like at the beginning and the end, and it's been like stuck in my head ever
Killer
since.
Clown,
Killer Clown, wow, wow. It's also like
space.
it's like a new wave rock song from the late '80s. That's like what I like. It's like kind of like
Dickies.
Kind of like Oingo Boingo sounding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. I wish more movies had theme songs. Like horror movies.
Like not just like a cool song, but like written for the movie.
Yeah.
And like at the beginning of the movie, not the end.
I think that filmmakers are like, oh, it's too corny. I don't want to do that. So
no, you know what?
Why.
Malignant should have had one.
It really should. It's weird it didn't.
No, instead, it had the weird version
just
of
a
Where
cover
Is
of
My
Killer
Mind?
Clowns. It's like
Killer Clowns.
Malignant.
We were watching Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Dream Warriors.
Yeah, that had it too. And this song, like, man, if I had known about it, it would have gone on my Halloween playlist last year for that party that we had. And like, it would have fit right in. So yes, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, as we previously mentioned, directed and made by the Kyoto brothers.
Yep.
Now, how many brothers are there?
3, I think.
At least 3,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like written by all 3 of them, and then Stephen Kyoto is the director.
And I think that's because there's like really like strict rules about who is a director on a movie.
Yeah, so you kind of have to pick one. It's like the Coen brothers.
Yep. Or
one of them directs.
I know that like they wouldn't credit the 3 directors on Airplane, so that's why they go by Zaz, just a one name directing team. So yeah, it's very silly. I don't know why they do it that way.
Yeah, there's very rarely movies that are directed by 2 people.
Well, the Wachowskis,
I guess, yeah.
Whatchamacallit, who did, the 2 brothers that did, okay, cut all of this out, but they did Dead Presidents.
Oh, yes. The
American Pimp.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
God.
Menace to Society.
Yes. Fuck. Whatever.
Okay, well, I'll look at that up later. But yeah, so there are very, very rarely more than one person director credited. But these guys
the
are
Hughes brothers,
special...
woof, right under the
There you
wire.
go.
And
There
who
you
could
go.
forget the Wayans brothers?
Oh, yeah.
Do they have director's credits?
No, I
12
think
of
one
them.
of them takes it each time.
We got to do a Wayans brother movie on this podcast.
A haunted house.
So far,
Jesus Christ.
the ones I've seen, I've been amused by a lot, but I haven't seen the later ones. So
I mean, they're probably bad,
like
April.
50 Shades of Black. Well, what do you think this podcast is about?
Oh, I saw 50 Shades of Black. You know what? I laughed a couple times. So
I should see
it
that
has that.
because
I
like 50 Shades.
I've
of
got
Grey 'cause
Little
it's
Man
stupid.
on the list of movies. that I
Oh
have to watch for
man,
this.
Little Man. That movie's more like disturbing. It's like Barbarian. It's like, oh my god.
Okay, so Justin, do we know anything else about the background of the Kyoto brothers?
Well, they're mostly famous for doing stop motion effects. That if you see stop motion effects in like TV or movies, they probably had something to do with. I was looking at their credits to try to figure out if they had done like creature stuff on a lot of movies, and I think that the way credits work, sometimes they don't get credited. Sometimes they came in and did one creature. They're most famous for designing the critters. That the critters are all there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we saw the first Critters. Great movie.
But like, they're not credited on that T-Rex movie with Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, Theodore Rex.
But like, it's credited that they puppeteered something and also acted as one of the characters. So it's like they definitely worked on that film.
Yeah,
but like, they just don't have like a main creature credit on it. Maybe because they demanded that there wasn't one, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
But like on Team America World Police, they did all the puppets and the puppeteering.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
So they not only do stop motion stuff, they do puppeteering stuff, and like they make like creatures,
They
masks
did,
and stuff.
Previous episode, Ernest Scared Stupid. They did the.
Those trolls looked great.
Actually, much better than the clowns in this movie.
Yeah, sorry, but they did look better than the clowns.
And like I'm looking now, and there's weirdly a credit for the Kyoto brothers, and they worked on the Monsters TV show from 1988, and those monsters definitely look like Kyoto brothers creations.
Okay.
So yeah, it's tough to find credits on them, but they have a very particular style that when you see their creatures, you're like, oh, they probably worked on this.
They famously did the was it the 6000 SUX commercial in RoboCop?
Yep.
With the T-Rex,
Which is a stop motion T-Rex, right?
Yeah, which is really fun.
Which is great.
So this one, Killer Klowns. This is one of those movies that it's like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. The gag is in the title.
The title?
And, I've heard about it. Everybody's heard about it, but I've just never seen it. And strangely enough, I think it was like a few days before this was recommended to us. Maybe before our Ernest episode, they just released a trailer for a video game that's coming out.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's strange.
The thing about this movie, and I'm going to be honest, it's never one I particularly liked, but I enjoyed it way more watching it this time. Because I think that when I saw it 12 years ago, I expected something like Evil Dead 2 or all the other cult classics
right.
that I was a big fan of at the time. And it's like a parody of a 50s monster movie. But even then, it's not even like a spoof like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Right.
No, it tries to...
It's like Gremlins. It's trying to be Gremlins.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like goofy, but it plays it straight in the reality of the movie.
So I was shocked to see, according to Box Office Mojo, that this film was a hit.
Really?
It supposedly cost... Yeah. It supposedly cost $2 million at the time of its release. And for inflation, that's 4.5, according to that website you can check. Unless somebody went in and changed it, it made $43 million in the United States.
Wow.
In 1988.
I wonder if a lot of that was VHS rentals or something.
I don't think they would count that in the box office total, would
yeah,
they?
Okay.
No, you know what? Right. There was just less movies. I am shocked that people would go up and see it. I guess maybe because it's a novelty.
I guess, but how did it not have a sequel when it made that much money on its budget?
That's very strange.
Every horror movie has a bajillion sequels, even if it's something like Killer Bong.
Like a franchise or something.
I wonder if the Kyoto brothers own the rights too tightly for it, because they've been talking since the film came out that they're we have 3 films planned for a trilogy. It just never came to fruition.
It's really weird, though, that they just now, a few weeks ago, released a trailer for a video game. Why in 2022?
Well, it's always been popular. You can find Killer Klowns merchandise at Spirit Halloween. They have big standees. It's on cups and things.
That's so weird.
So it's the, I guess, name value of it is very high. So I guess that's why it keeps being shared.
Well, the trailer for the video game looked good. Great.
It looks exactly like the movie.
Graphics, yeah. And so anyone out there has played the Friday 13th game, basically you're dropped into it and you play with other people online, and you have to play, I guess, either a clown or a character.
Yeah, it's like a multiplayer
and you're
survival.
Either hunting people or you're trying to survive.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of those types of games.
Yeah,
but
me neither.
I definitely would want to try it. I think that Friday the 13th game looked really fun, but I'm not about to buy it to try it once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You should be able to rent games.
Those types of games, I feel like I was telling you this yesterday, they're fun for 10 minutes. And then it's okay, I'm done.
Well, it's difficult playing with people online because I always have connection issues, and then you don't it'd be fun if you had a group of people that like in the room you
Sure.
can play with, which I think you can.
And nobody's going to find that many friends that's
Well,
going to
you'd
play
have to have,
something
like, 10
for
friends,
yeah,
yeah.
and then it's like
I don't know, people who are gamers.
Yeah, I
players
knew some
fall
people
off.
like our pal Pierce. He would play with like a bunch of friends that he knew because it's not fun playing with strangers.
no.
Yeah, that's the thing. But anyway, check out the trailer for the Killer Klowns.
Yeah, it's very
game.
movie accurate. They have the theme song. They've got all the clown
Again,
designs.
the clown
are the same.
design is perfect.
Yeah,
See, I never really liked the clown designs in this. They're so ugly,
Yeah,
and
I'm
I
not
know
a-
that's the point. But
fan
like,
either.
like, I don't want a toy of this on my desk. I'll take a gremlin
no.
or a critters, but like these clowns, they're like wrinkly and big. Ugh, it's
And
gross.
ugly.
yeah. It's funny how no one in the movie reacts at all to how hideous they look. They all they treat them like normal clowns, and everyone is really amused every time they see them. Like, oh,
A clown.
Yeah, it's to the point where it's like, oh, is that the joke? I think that's
guess
part of the
maybe.
joke of the movie.
yeah. Nobody feels threatened in any way by this clown.
Yeah.
Or these clowns, I should say.
So the movie starts with that great theme song.
Killer Clown.
And we're introduced to a character I was very excited to see more of, but we don't. The comedian Titus, who walks by frame.
Yeah, I was like, is he the other guy? He's not any of the main guys.
No,
is he?
he's kind of the nerdy
barely
guy
in the movie.
Well, this is funny because like I saw his name in the credits. I'm like, Christopher Titus. Holy shit!
I was like, who's that? And you're like, the guy from Titus. And I was like, oh yeah,
A classic
I
TV show that
I
we all
remember
love and
that
remember.
TV
Wow, it
Wasn't
only
Stacey
lasted
Keach
2
on that?
seasons. Oh no, 3 seasons.
Was Stacy Keach on that?
He was.
Yeah.
He was the dad.
We're thinking of the same show.
Yeah. So he plays like a nerdy guy, but I think he has like one line.
Yeah, he's like cops.
Yeah, and then okay, this is my favorite thing. My favorite character in this movie is John Vernon playing Officer Mooney. He's the dean from
That
Animal
guy's
House.
awesome.
He is so angry at everyone in this entire movie. He hates everyone.
He's a curmudgeon.
So he's like, see, Christopher Titus like walks by his car, and then he goes like, son of a bitch.
What I love about him is that he is just completely honest that he's a corrupt cop.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, I'm in charge tonight. That means I'm going to be doing police brutality. He basically just says that to everyone, and
Yeah.
everyone knows it.
John
hates
Vernon's
everybody.
job is just hating things. He hates Dirty Harry. He hates, the Animal House. And most importantly, he hates Ernest when he goes to camp.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
he's
is
in
he in
that?
that?
Yeah, he is.
Was he the camp
nice.
director?
I think he must be. I don't remember. I was looking at his credits, and it's like he's in that.
an
So
angry
he must be
neighbor.
an Ernest hating guy, unless
He
he's
would be
Ernest's
the-
best friend, which seems wrong.
He would be an amazing like warden in like Ernest Goes to Jail or something like that.
I feel like he's probably like someone that wants to buy the property or something like that. Like that sounds like
We
a
can
John
just
Vernon
keep-
play.
Well, you've seen Ernest Goes to Camp.
I don't remember it that well. Like it's all
Welcome
an
to
Ernest
camp,
gumbo in my
Ernest.
mind. I can just see him, Ernest.
It's like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's great.
He's the one like consistently entertaining person in this movie. Everybody else plays their characters very straight.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the leads. Grant Kramer, Suzanne Snyder.
Me neither, but I feel like they all did a good job. The two guys and the girl.
They're fine.
I liked them all. I wasn't like, oh, they suck. Like, I thought they were good. Good acting. The girl is kind of plucky and fun. And unfortunately, they make her go home at one point and
This
she
is
has to
funny.
be rescued.
So I was like watching this again yesterday to like take notes and stuff like that. She is offloaded into the shower for most of the movie.
I know. And like,
The world's
I'm like,
longest shower.
yeah, I was like, is she going to be getting out of the shower? That was like 25 minutes
It
ago.
keeps going. They like establish her going into the shower, and then
When she comes out, she's getting dressed, but her hair's wet still. So.
and she's all wrinkly and
She looks like a clown. She's like, ah.
Yeah.
oh, the water ran out. She's in the shower for like an hour. It's like they don't know the movie doesn't know what to do with her, so they just throw her in the shower, and then we just get the adventures of the two bland.
For people who haven't seen this movie, it's basically just a collection of sketches of the killer clowns, like
Pretty much, yeah.
going around creating chaos. Because right from the get-go, we're introduced to our characters on Makeout Point, which made me think of this is a classic 50s throwback. Was this something that people did in the 80s? Like there was a Makeout Point?
Well, I realized when we were watching this, it's because they all live with their parents, so they need a place to.
They're in their
make
mid-30s. They shouldn't be living with their parents.
Yeah.
Well, these people are. Yes.
These don't look like high school kids.
No, they look way too old. And I love how like the Dave is the cop, and he's just like, oh yeah, college boy, and he just looks the same as everyone else. Like he doesn't look any older.
Yeah, they all look mid-30s.
Yeah.
The main guy, Grant Kramer, he kind of looks like I said he looks like a young Steve Carell.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I liked him. He was funny.
And then we get the Terenzi brothers show up in their ice cream van.
Those guys were annoying, and I know that they're supposed to be annoying, but I just felt like I was watching like the guys from Grease doing like the Three Stooges routine. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, they're trying to like sell their ice cream up at Makeout Point. Then everybody tells them to get lost, and then it's a funny gag where like just hundreds of cans from off screen just get thrown at them. And
Honestly,
the main character, he loves the Terenzi brothers.
He loves them. They have such a history together.
The way he's talking to his girlfriend about how much he loves the Terenzi brothers, like it's like he's just got the dreamiest. Oh, the Terenzi brothers,
and they talk about it
brothers?
as if they've like fought monsters before. Because at one point the Terenzi brothers like disappear in the middle of like the climax, and the main character is like, they do that all the time. And I'm like,
it feels like they like fought in Vietnam together or something like that. Like they've known each other.
Maybe they did.
Yeah, they're my best friends from school. Oh, the adventures we would have anytime you go out with the Terenzi brothers.
Honestly, the Terenzi brothers act like they're about to like make out with each other for like the entire movie. They're just so horny. Anyway.
They're just trying to get the babes, man.
I know.
As grown men who run an ice cream truck.
It's 45-year-olds that run an ice cream truck. That's not in no way creepy at all.
And then the meteorite hits, and we're introduced to the classic Royal Dano. And so you know this guy because the Simpsons do a parody of him. Boy, I'm just a prospector. Let's go.
Oh, that guy. So that was really him.
It's the old-timey.
And his dog.
And his dog, Pooh Bear.
So cute.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, he gets the dog napper net on him.
Yeah. So they go out hunting for the meteorite, the old man and the dog, and he wants to like capture or like put it on display and charge people. You know.
I mean, haven't you learned anything from The Blob or Creepshow, the Stephen King story?
Yeah, it's a bit of an exaggerated performance by design. So he finds a big circus tent. What? And he's like, "What's going on here?"
Man, if I saw that, I'd be like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
I'd get
the other direction.
Just get the hell out of there. But he loves the circus.
Boy, the circus! Good old Royal Dano.
Maybe they'll give us free tickets.
Yeah. So anyway, dog gets napped. He gets zapped.
They do like a funny like little shadow gag with the. They're kind of walking by the circus tent, and you see like the clown silhouette like kind of sneaking up behind them. It's kind of funny.
And that's the end of his character.
Yeah, the clown, the really hideous clown. And again, this clown shows up. He just gets electrocuted. He's lying on the ground. This hideous-looking clown shows up and is smiling with like rotting teeth. He's laughing like he's seeing Bozo or something like that.
Yeah.
Wait. Let's take a step back. So when you would see Bozo, you'd be all smiles, Colin?
No.
Bozo looks pretty creepy.
I just couldn't think of another clown.
Can we say, I mean, you could think of the classic inspiration for Krusty the Clown, Rusty Nails.
Oh, God.
Yes, a real clown, Rusty Nails.
And John Wayne Gacy.
I don't really know any.
Do we like clowns? I mean, we should have said this right. No, clowns suck.
No, they're horrifying.
I'm not like afraid of clowns.
No, me neither.
But I don't
suck.
like them. They're annoying and ridiculous.
Yeah. Not now. As a child, I was terrified. We used to go to the Santa Claus parade when I was young, and they had these things called the upside down clowns.
Yes, I think you've mentioned them probably on a Christmas episode.
It was basically people in outfits where like the clown was flipped, so their legs looked like their hands. They looked like they were just walking on their hands, and then their heads
were somehow in the butt.
Were kind of on the crotch area, and then they had like a little in the costumes crotch area. They had this piece of mesh, so like the performer could like see through, and then the clowns would come up to you, and then they would wave at you with their feet.
Yeah.
And I remember one came up to me, and I think I started crying, and I was just like, ah.
You were 17 years old. No. I remember the upside down clowns. Not a fan.
Do people like clowns? Why do we keep forcing them onto children?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that there's a very small population of people that like clowns.
Yeah,
and want to have sex with clowns. There's nothing wrong with that. I get it. But
there was a clown that that lived on my street growing up. Like
Wait,
that was,
what? And his name was Pennywise.
it was a woman who that was her business, I guess. As I remember trick or treating at her house, and she was wearing the clown outfit.
Oh God!
And she was really stingy with the chocolate. I remember that, giving everybody just.
I mean, do you think a clown makes a lot of money if that's your full-time job?
No.
Hey, Ronald McDonald must be making some cash.
Oh no, he's a slave to the McDonald's Corporation.
He's like genetically engineered. And like
Yeah, they keep
there
like
one
they only
guy?
live for a year and then they kill the Ronald McDonald.
No, it's like what? It's like Menudo or something.
gotta replace
I mean,
it, yeah.
that's literally what it is. I think they phased out all of their face characters for McDonald's, haven't they?
It seems like it. Yeah,
Because they were big in the 90s. Grimace, the
Grimace,
Hamburglar.
They're still around, aren't they?
No. They're not in
guess
any
not.
kind of like logos, or I haven't picked up a Happy Meal in a long time for obvious reasons, but
It's just Ronald, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, he's like, maybe it's like the Prestige. Like they clone him and then one of them goes into a dunk tank and dies.
yeah, when he does his prestige trick. That's what the prestige is based on, the Ronald McDonald magic trick.
So every night I never knew whether
Ronalds.
I was the one that was going to drown or I was going to come
Yeah,
out the other end.
growing up, there was tons of commercials with Ronald McDonald, and it
Yeah.
always seemed like it looked like the same guy underneath the makeup.
Yeah.
But maybe who can tell when you have
In the
that much
commercial,
makeup
probably.
on, I don't know.
I remember I was horrified because they used to have my friends would have birthdays at McDonald's,
Mm-hmm.
so they would like rent out the kind of birthday area.
Oh yeah, man, you get your little pizza and
Yeah, well, we didn't have pizza when I was growing up.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
Until I was like a teen.
They did when we were growing up.
Yeah, but they had the Ronald McDonald would come out, and I was very aware that it was not the same Ronald McDonald from TV, and it really creeped me out. I was like,
Oh,
who is this person? That doesn't sound anything like the guy on
You
TV.
got it. So you got a clown thing.
Yeah.
I definitely. I've been to like those birthdays, but there were no Ronald McDonalds.
Yeah.
oh god, have you guys seen the original Grimace? He used to have 4 hands and he had like milkshakes in them.
No.
He looks like a horror. Like I mean, Grimace is a monster, but
Somebody told us what he's supposed. Wait,
yeah, he's supposed to be like a rotten milkshake.
no.
What the fuck?
No. Wasn't it like a taste bud or something?
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
That does sound like something you'd hear on like the playground. Like, did you hear what Grimace really is?
I think you're right.
I think it was a
someone
taste
told
bud.
us that. I don't know if that's.
Oh, and what happened to Mayor McCheese? Which is very disturbing because I guess you're eating his brethren in that case.
Do you remember those like 3 little pom pom things or 2
No.
pom pom? They look like pom poms with. Oh my God, Grimace looks horrifying.
I'm showing
I
him
just
the
sent it to
grimace.
them.
That looks like a concept piece for like Jabba the Hutt or something.
He looks like a bug. He's got like centipede arms.
Ew.
Yeah. Also, yeah, Mary McCheese. It's a hamburger face. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know what those little creatures were. They were like pom poms with legs and then eyes.
Oh
Oh God.
no. Okay.
Sorry, I just sent them a live action Grimace from a commercial when he had all his arms.
It looks like a pile of
What
crap.
is it about like old timey costumes that look absolutely horrifying? Like,
Well, they were all made by like the Puff and Stuff people. I mean, McDonald's got sued by them because they basically just ripped off H&R Puff and Stuff
Well, I'm
for all
talking
their
like
characters.
even before, like if you look back in the 50s or something, look at the Michelin Man.
Well, they didn't have plastic, I guess.
They didn't
That
have
is not
the.
the reason.
That's not true, but they didn't have the design tools and manufacturing ability. I think back
It was
then.
like the cheapest possible, so it's all made
But-
out of like felt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Michelin Man looks like he's gonna like burst into your house and like assault you. Like,
yeah, he looks like that'll be like the next Netflix crime special.
the Michelin
The
Man.
Michelin Man. Fuck. Yeah, it was Michelin Man, and I think Bonhomme from.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh,
scary
yeah.
looking.
Justin knows
That's a
Bonhomme.
French Canadian staple.
Yeah, guys, look up Bonhomme because Bonhomme is creepy looking.
Yeah, he's
it has
creepy.
like a weird like black eyes and mouth.
Yeah,
And he
it's
used to
like
be
a snowman.
everywhere too. He looks like the soul of like an evil snowman that got killed and is coming back for revenge.
Yeah, I don't
It's like, don't look in his eyes and the black voice.
Yeah. Yeah,
Bonhomme Badhomme.
Justin,
Yeah.
for your horror marathon, you should like take a Bonhomme commercial and like change the music and then like make it creepy and like insert that into your shorts section.
I mean, he's still around too. He's still popular. They
Yeah.
didn't get rid of him. Was he Quebec City's mascot? Or
I think so. Wasn't
yeah.
it like some?
Or Montreal.
But it was like the Winter Festival or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just Canada's snowman.
Okay.
But like I remember as a
It's
kid,
not-
he would always be around. Like he
It's
was
not
a present
Canada.
thing.
It's just a Quebec thing.
Oh, is it?
But I used to get it in school, like when I was growing
Yeah.
up. We used to have them all
really?
the time. Yeah, it's very weird.
Okay, we got to get back to this movie.
Yeah, sorry.
So
We're back at the police station, and Mooney has brought in two teens.
two guys who are just trying to have a romantic night on the park, and he like arrests them for buggery.
This
It's
No,
so
it's
not fair.
so quickly though. Like John Vernon and the young cop are like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you."
Yeah, he wants to bring them in for like, I don't know, they're just drinking
disturbing
wine.
the peace, but like
He's like,
guys,
scum like you.
Read between the lines.
Yeah.
It's two like punk rock new wavers, and they literally say it's a beautiful night. We were just having a bottle of wine in the park. These two young men, come on, they're in the park. So he arrested them for being gay, and that is completely not fair.
He
but-
wants to beat them up, and then the young cop kind of steps in and says, not on my watch, and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
This
But,
is where the cop, the Mooney's like, on my watch, the
Yeah.
beats are coming, everyone.
Yeah. He throws them in jail. He's like,
Yeah.
whatever. So then we're introduced to the lead and his girlfriend, who we saw. They saw the meteor land.
Yep. So they go check it out.
They go check it out, but and they find the big circus tent. They go
And they
investigate.
go in.
I would not go into this big circus tent.
No.
I'd be like, I'm out of here.
It's like in the middle of the woods.
You know what it reminded me of? Something that, do kids still do this? April would remember. You know when you would like get the big like multicolor thing and you'd throw it in the air as a kid? And then you'd hide under it as it fell?
Are you talking about like the big parachute thing?
Yeah, the big parachute
Yeah,
thing.
it's like a big rainbow parachute.
Why don't we do that as a kid?
I don't know, but
Like-
I used to think it was the funnest thing ever.
Yeah, this is
You
bringing
just
back
like
memories.
lift it up and down and then go underneath it.
Was it kind of like segmented colors, like
yes.
a pie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And that's
okay.
all it did. You would just all throw it up, and like everyone's laughing and smiling. We could not get enough of it, and you just duck under it, and then it falls down, and then you do it
Yeah.
again, and that's it.
Ah, simpler times.
But so this
Back before the TikToks and the MySpaces.
Fine. But no, this tent kind of looks like crap. Like it looks okay from the outside, but the inside looks really cheap. Sorry, Kyoto Brothers.
No, it looks great. I love it. Long
fine. It's-
corridors, multicolored.
Black voids.
When they get to the funhouse section, which is kind of later, I was like, this looks shittier than an actual funhouse.
It kind of reminded me of that, like Crime
Crime
Wave.
Wave?
Like I was saying, like
That's exactly what it looked like.
Crime
Wave.
like the kind of toppling dominoes walls.
But there's just it's
just a black void.
and I have problems with that. But
Yeah.
it's what they
Do
it's
you?
what they had.
It's like looking into Bunham's eyes. You're like, no, I don't want to look into the black void.
But what's
in,
kind
in
of
this
funny,
part, it's not so bad though, because they
No.
find that like matte painting where it's,
yeah,
it's sort
which
of
is
like
literally the shot from Star Wars.
yeah, it's like the kind of like bottomless pit, and they have this like energy source, which is kind of cool, which showed up in the video game actually in the trailer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's funny about this movie is like what it like. So it's like a sci-fi, but it's
Yeah.
also like a monster movie, but it's also a parody. It's kind of like a lot of a mishmash of things. But I like so that in this next scene they find like this big room and there's like these cotton candy pieces and you're like what? And then he rips it apart and the farmer's like face is in there.
Yeah.
So it's also like Invasion of the Body Snatchers a little bit. So that people in pods.
Yeah, they look like the pod people, but they're made out of like cotton candy. Which
But
is kinda
also, I gotta say, these cotton candy pods are way too small to hold people.
April, the people are dead. They're crushed up into them.
Okay, they're crushed. Oh,
Yeah, they're dead. No one comes out of those cotton candy things alive.
I thought that was gonna happen.
Well, no. Later in the movie, we see they're kind of watching as one of the clowns sticks a crazy straw into one, and he's drinking.
right.
He's drinking from it, so it's like they're
They're
don't know,
liquefied
or something.
So, in other words, at the end of this movie, more than half the town is
Oh,
dead.
yeah,
Absolutely. They save no one. Except for the one woman.
Except for
That's
the
it.
one girl who's inexplicably not in a cotton candy pod.
yeah. But they also the clown. They see like the popcorn machine, which we
Yeah.
kind of realize later. It's like the popcorn pieces are actually like
Popcorn's
little
alive,
creatures,
which is not
kind of cool.
explained, but it was very cute.
Yeah, so they kind of get caught. He makes noise, and they're chased out of there by these clowns, and the clowns kind of make a little balloon dog.
Yeah,
and
so
they use
this
it to
is
chase
kind of
him.
funny. I felt, although it reminded me like of the Mask a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Where he's making balloon animals, and they're like they're pretending it, but it's actually barking. It becomes sentient.
Yeah, so
somehow.
then they're chasing them down with this balloon dog. It's pretty funny. There's a lot of like little kind of gags. I don't find the clowns particularly funny in this movie. But
Yeah, like I don't know if we need to go through like every scene because
Well,
it does get a little repetitive.
it's
After a
very
while.
montagey.
There's some good gags for sure.
I did enjoy when the clown pretends to be a fake statue in front of a store for some reason, which they never do again.
He sees the gorilla statue that's outside the pharmacy.
Why won't they bring back gorillas in front of stores? There used to be one in front of the old army surplus.
No, it's
And now
active surplus.
Active surplus, which is gone now. Rest in
I
peace.
used to love that place. Do you remember when the gorilla was kidnapped?
No.
Someone stole it.
Someone stole it, and then they.
They had to close down the store. That's what
No,
happened.
yeah, that was the thing. He was the owner.
Hang on, was this a publicity stunt?
No, it wasn't. And then they went on. They made like a
TV?
video, and they on the news and stuff. And the owner was like crying and pleading, like, "Please, bring back the gorilla," because it was kind of like their icon. They did get it back.
Nice. So just mischief, probably.
Probably, yeah. It's like the famous gorilla. That was a place I used to love going there and just like walking around and looking at all the. You could find anything like resistors and capacitors and just.
Oh, it was great. It was basically just like an everything store.
If you're
anything
building,
you needed.
Yeah, if you're building like models or something, or movie props or whatever,
Yeah.
just wander around there. Just stick your hand in like a bucket and take a bunch of crap.
Needles. I mean, I did buy some syringes. I could like squeeze blood out of them from there.
Yeah, it was really
Nice.
good. Just buckets of like random parts, and then you bring them up to the counter, and the guy would just go, 50 cents. I brought up stuff sometimes. He was just like, just take it.
It's weird that there's no
free.
store like that in Toronto anymore. Like nothing moved to replace it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of like in the trendy kind of fashion area.
Queen Street area, yeah.
Yeah, it was probably very
There's
expensive.
places like that in Koreatown that I've been to where they
Yeah.
just have like electronic parts that you can get. And it's just kind of like everything is kind of in buckets. I've seen, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
but
it's once that kind of strip of Queen Street, I think, got built up. It was probably the rent was just too expensive for that type of store. Like, I can't really see them making.
They couldn't
making
make,
tons of
they,
cash.
They didn't have enough customers in that area.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
I used to hang out, this is Toronto specific, in that section of Queen Street because Rotate This was there, a record store, there was a comic book store,
Silver
Eyesore
Snail.
Cinema where I used to work. And now it's all gone. What is down there now? Like
It's
just clothes
just like
shops?
the Gap.
What
and,
intersection are you talking about?
Well, it's like Queen and Spadina.
Yeah,
Just-
Queen and Spadina, or even like Queen and University. When you're walking toward the Scotiabank Cinema, you could just keep walking. There'd be like a million
yeah,
stores.
so Queen and University is like bigger, nicer stores. Queen and Spadina is still, I mean, that's Chinatown.
No, between say Spadina and Peter.
Yeah, okay.
That strip there.
Yeah, so that strip is just clothing stores.
Yeah.
And like not cheap ones either. Some of them are, but some of them are really expensive.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because Silver Snail, this is a famous like comic book shop that was there. I just realized a few months ago that it's just around the corner from us here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's tiny now.
Oh,
like,
is it really?
It's like
Pretty
a
small.
closet. Yeah, if you walk
That's what I
in, it
was
made me
saying.
sad.
I couldn't get the Avatar comics I want, or any comic, because they didn't have issue 1 of anything. But it is right beside Squirrely's Bar.
Well, that was a place where, when it was on Queen Street, I would just go in. I wasn't a really big comic book guy, but I would, for some reason, just love going in there and just, I don't know, hanging out and reading magazines. I'd go get like Cinefex magazine there.
Queen Street used to have the gigantic Suspect video before it
Yeah.
burned down, and that
Oh,
was an amazing
yeah.
store. I remember
was-
first coming to Toronto and going in there and like creating an account and renting like a whole bunch.
Yeah, they had good stuff there. The one thing there I found was that like a lot of times you'd rent something and the CD would or the DVD would skip. And I remember one time the guy was eating like a hamburger and was still eating it as he was like collecting the DVD from behind the counter and like put the DVD in. And then I got home and there was like greasy thumbprints all over the DVD.
If only we could go back to the time where you rented physical media.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. It was so
we
gross.
can at Bay Street Video on Bay Street. I don't know the address actually. So.
Okay, again, off top. Is Queen Video still there?
No, it's long gone.
No, okay, because I found
Long
my
gone.
membership card the other day in an old wallet. I'm like, I don't need this.
There used to be multiple. There used to be Queen Video, 2Q Video was there as well on that strip. Eyesore Cinema.
Yeah, 2Q is great.
Okay. we're
Killer
way off
Clowns,
topic.
which
We're
you
way
could
off
rent at 2Q Video back in the day, is the movie we're talking about today.
All right. Well, let's again. So the next section of the movie is kind of just like a series of gags.
Yeah,
so,
the clowns come to town.
I like the one where he meets up with the motorcycle gang on a little tricycle, and they're like, "Ha ha!" And they take it. They're like, "Can I have a ride?" So he takes it and he crushes it, and then the clown decapitates this guy.
Punches his head off like Jason Goes to
I was like,
Manhattan.
yeah, finally a little violence that's not off screen.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And I love how in 80s movies, there's always a motorcycle gang just in every
true.
movie, like especially low budget ones. I don't know why, but
You know.
it was a thing.
This movie was rated PG-13 when it was released.
Really? It's not like violent
Not
or
gory,
anything.
It's
yeah.
barely a PG-13, I would say, but I mean,
Yeah. I think like this is the only like him punching the head off is the only time anything kind of gory happens. I think.
Yeah, you see a clown's bloody hand, and the cotton candy is pretty gnarly when you think about it.
Oh,
like you see
okay,
their
like-
bloody faces and stuff like
I
that.
guess,
Yeah.
kind of.
So they're going around. It's like they have these like kind of wacky looking guns and they shoot people and turn them into cotton candy, which is kind of like a cool little effect, like spinning around and like whatever.
That was kind of fun. There's like a puppet show again.
Now-
They're just like amusing people, and it's the same
And then kill
gag.
them. They just like
Yeah.
to fuck with people.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like the same gag over and over, where people don't take it seriously, and then they either capture or kill
Yeah,
them or-
he's putting on like a shadow puppet show for these people.
Oh, that was pretty
at like a
cool.
bus stop, and it's like
and they're like, oh,
man, this is one of the things that I hate about certain movies. I don't know if it's like expensive to give these people lines or they have to pay them, but
You have to pay them extra
gotta-
if they become a talking actor.
Yeah, and they have multiple scenes like these montages. I think another kid goes to like a puppet show, like a Punch and Judy show, and nobody says anything. Like they're not talking and just going and like gesturing to each other. You know, these people at the bus stop are loving this shadow puppet show.
I mean, a giant shadow puppet show like that, and it's like historical figures appearing on.
Yeah, he's
the
doing like
wall.
He
Washington
makes,
crossing
like, a
the
boat.
Delaware.
Yeah.
I'd be like, whoa,
but
yeah,
but done by a creepy looking clown.
yeah, it's Psycho Clown.
at
Yeah, you're
night.
right.
Yeah, it's creepy. And then doesn't the shadow just like
It
jump
tur-
down and
it-
eat
it
them,
turns into, like, a
which is
T-Rex, which, like,
ridiculous,
eats them.
Of course, but this is a silly movie.
There is, they kind of establish Big Top Burger in the opening of the movie, and one of the scenes is like this clown trying to lure a little child outside, which is really creepy.
Yeah,
and it's
it was
like,
a little on the creepy
how
side.
is nobody noticing this clown? These windows are huge.
This town loves clowns.
Yeah.
Big Top Burger, clown-based ice cream. They can't get
it's
enough
true.
of clowns.
True.
It's true.
I'm surprised the pharmacy wasn't clown themed.
Oh, my
There's a whole
God.
scene in there where they all go to the pharmacy. I felt like I was watching like Zat or
Yeah,
that was in
it's-
Hocus Pocus 2 again, where
It
they
is
go to
so-
a pharmacy.
It's so not funny. And they cut back to this pharmacy scene
a lot,
so many
and
times.
it's really just them fucking up the place and like knocking things off the shelves. and
Whoa,
opening
spraying
things,
like shaving cream in my
cream, yeah.
face.
And
then
we just keep cutting back to that pharmacist going, oh, yeah.
They have another scene where like I don't know, this guy's racing a car and like the clown is like driving next to him on I don't know, it looks like an invisible car, runs him off the road. It's very weird.
I don't even remember that. It must have been the bathroom.
Probably.
You'd been all clowned out. You had passed
Yeah.
out, little X's in your eyes.
Yeah. And this is where we get rid of the girl in the movie. It's like
Yeah.
the lead and the young cop guy are like, we're gonna go investigate. Like, you go home.
Yeah, and so he drops her off, and she's like, "I'm gonna follow you guys," and she goes, "Please don't." And I was like, "Oh man," she doesn't. I thought she had agency.
She is in the shower for like
Yeah.
45 minutes.
Now let's just skip ahead to when she gets out of the shower because this scene is pretty fun. I don't know why it reminded me of Chud. You know, like in Chud, where the
because
woman.
in Chud they grow long necks. That's why it made you think of it.
But there's a scene with the woman who's like home alone, and I don't. Is she in the
Oh,
shower?
in the shower.
Or is she in the bathroom or something?
Doesn't, like, blood come
and
up
then
from
things
the-
come out of the wall, the chuds, they come out of the walls or something. And I was just like, I don't know why I was thinking of that. It reminded me of it a lot. But so yeah, these little clown heads.
Well, she's it's like the popcorn that she gets stuck to her shirt and
It
stuff. She
becomes
brushes it off,
sentient.
which is kind of a cool gag. It kind of like cranes down, and we see the little popcorn pieces on the floor, like kind of crawling around.
Well, I was like, how is that moving?
That's
But
pretty
it's
cool.
Stop motion, right?
No, I think it's a wire. It's kind of a
There's,
gag.
I think, almost very little stop motion in this movie,
Yeah.
which is surprising
Surprising.
considering the directors.
But how do you think they moved the popcorn?
It's
Probably
it's
a wire.
it's a gap in the tile, but they frame it so that the foreground tile is covering the gap, and then
There's just like a little
there's like a little
rod.
wire,
Yeah.
like puppeteering it from underneath the floor. Which
That's
is,
how everyone's favorite hand moves around in the Addams Family.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't even know that. I always was like, how does that hand move thing?
She spends
right?
weeks just thinking about it, being like, how does it? It's all like first perspective and stuff like that, which you
Yeah.
do get later on in the movie too.
Yeah, well, when you go into our garage, April's got it all plotted out on
But-
the wall.
How do
like
they make the hand.
it's like the Charlie
move.
Day thing.
Yeah.
But you mentioned, Justin, how there's very little stop motion. These clown heads in this scene are stop motion, right?
No, they're puppeteered,
Nope.
I think.
They're all
I could have
puppets.
sworn it was stop motion-y.
No.
The only stop motion I noticed, I may have missed some, is when he's driving, which Colin previously mentioned.
Yeah.
There's like a shot of like a stop motion clown going down the road.
That's
with
right.
the
Oh,
car.
that,
Yeah.
yeah. I do remember that now, actually.
Yeah, so the kind of popcorn mutates into these
Mini-
kind of cool, like really cool looking puppeteer.
They're like clown heads with these like long skinny necks.
Yeah, they're kind of like snake necks. It
Yeah.
reminds me of Henrietta from Evil Dead 2 at the very end, where she grows like the long neck and it has these goofy like heads.
They called it the Pee Wee head in Evil Dead 2 because it kind of looks like, I guess, the Pee Wee Herman movie when the stop motion thing happened.
Large Marge.
Large Marge. She doesn't really look like that, but
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
And yeah, so this scene is good and she's like getting attacked and then she somehow ends up in a balloon bubble.
Oh yeah, so yeah, she's trying to like the clowns invade the house or something like that.
Why? Why do they do this? Because she's a main
They're just
character.
fucking with her. Yeah, like she looks out the windows. The clowns have like a thing to catch her. The door gets knocked out. It's like, hey, it's Mike. Come. It's your boyfriend, Mike. She opens the door. It's the clown just fucking with her.
Yeah.
Oh man, they can throw their voices too, just like the trolls in Ernest Scared Stupid.
It's a
Yep.
Kyoto staple.
I guess.
We skipped over a scene, though, that I'm going to make my favorite scene of the movie. Well, first it starts off with a clown who walks into the police station, just fucks with John Vernon.
Oh yeah.
I love that scene.
But what I really like is right after, the movie's like, all right, we're serious now. Like, the cop walks into the police station, there's like feet on the ground, and then he walks into the cells and there's feet everywhere, including cotton candy on the wall, which gross like arm falls out of because the people are disintegrating inside
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
it's the two kids from earlier
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
Mooney
not
arrested.
feet, footprints.
Yeah, kind of
red,
footprints.
Red
Footprints.
footprints.
And-
Yeah.
And then he goes into the main office, and one of the clowns is puppeteering John Vernon like a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah, it's
just
really
like
creepy.
that movie
It's
we
like Dead
watched.
Silence.
Dead
Yeah,
Silence.
and he's like, why are you scared of us? We just want to kill you.
Yeah, it's really creepy actually.
It's great because, as we know, the clowns don't talk. So this is like a way to get them to talk, I guess.
Yeah, it's really. I was like, ooh, that's gross. And then he like pulls his bloody hand out of the the guy's back.
Do you think John Vernon was like, I don't want to fucking do this. I'm a professional actor.
But he has,
I
like-
worked with Clint Eastwood.
He has like the little kind of rosy circles on his cheeks, and he has
Yeah.
like the ventriloquist
Sir,
dummy lines.
you're in Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
He
My
knows what
agent told me this was just the clowns. I thought it was a drama of some kind.
he is a pro, sir. He's gonna do his damnedest.
And he showed up and he didn't have to do anything. He's like, I got the cop suit. I brought it from home. Don't touch my hair. It will
Yeah.
remain frazzled on my
Basically,
head.
just gotta be myself and
Yep.
go.
I hate all these young children.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have any lines for John Vernon. We just put him in the scene and let him run.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Fucking clowns.
Kill you.
And like around this time or after this is when those two annoying characters come back into the movie.
what are
They're
they called?
gone for most of the movie,
What are
which
they
is
called?
nice.
The Terrazzo brothers.
The Terrazzo brothers.
No, it's the Terenzi brothers.
the Terenzi brothers.
Yeah, but then the young cop comes back. You know, he sees John Vernon get thrown on the floor, and then he shoots the clown's nose,
Yes.
which kind of explodes and sparkles, and then the clown dies.
It spins around real fast.
yeah, it's
It
got
does
like a cool
thing.
effect. So I guess that's how you kill the clowns. You shoot their clown
Their
noses.
clown noses. So
I'm glad they could figure out because the clowns are godlike creatures,
Yeah,
so
they
they
are.
need some kind of weakness.
They're vastly
they're
overpowered.
aliens. We know that.
Yeah. Every time I hear brothers, though, I always think of the Scaleri brothers
Yeah.
from Ghostbusters 2. That'd be awesome if they cameoed in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Ah!
I sent them to the chair years ago.
I sent these clowns to the chair, and now they're back.
Who were the brothers in the Goonies? Joey Pants and
I don't
Robert
remember.
Davi. Weren't they? Didn't they have like? Or was that a family name?
I think it was a family, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I'm
it was
looking
like
here. They're the Fratelli brothers.
The Fratelli brothers. Yeah, right.
That's right.
Robert.
You can't be brothers without being evil, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
Are there any good brothers that people share?
I'm trying to. What about? Wait. No, I'm thinking of Bartles and James, the old people, but I don't think they were brothers.
Wait, are they brothers in the Muppets? The guys up on the balcony, or are they just friends or lovers?
I don't know.
I don't think they're brothers.
I don't know.
No? Okay.
Are you saying you can't think of one example of two brothers that were good?
Statler and Waldorf. That's right.
Like in the world?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
There's lots of good brothers.
What about
the Coen brothers?
What about the Wright?
Oh, they're bad. Everybody knows they're bad.
What about
Bad
the
people.
Wright brothers?
Oh, they were evil. They created planes. Planes drop bombs. How dare they?
Then the Wachowskis, they made the new Matrix. Ew.
Yeah, but they're the sisters now,
Yeah.
so
Oh.
they're fine.
So are there
no
any
issues
good
there.
or bad sisters? Well, the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus 2. Hocus
That's
Pocus 2
true.
on Disney Plus. I can't stop talking about
Yeah,
it, even
siblings.
though it was just okay.
Siblings, they're all evil in movies,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, if it's last name brothers, then you're in trouble.
yeah, crime
Not in
family.
real life though. No one come at us where you're like, I love my twin. And we are good people.
The Menendez brothers.
The murderers. They
Yeah,
also produced
God.
Fright Night 2.
Did they really?
Fright Night 2?
Yeah, that's why Fright Night 2 can't get an official Blu-ray release.
No.
It's like lost in a weird rights issue.
Did
Yep,
they do
that's
that
why.
from jail?
I don't know. Or
they-
maybe
did
they
they-
have no interest. Are they still kicking? Did they get
No,
killed?
they're alive.
Okay.
I have no
I'm pretty
idea.
sure.
Well, we'll wait for the
I know
Netflix
one of them got
special.
married. Yeah. Those are the guys that killed their parents, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. So Killer Klowns is wrapping up.
Yeah, where do we go?
We meet the Menendez
Okay,
brothers.
the girl is out of the shower and immediately put into a
big plastic
kind of bouncy ball.
And so they got to go save her because we didn't mention that the young cop is also our protagonist lady's ex-boyfriend.
Right.
So she basically has two boyfriends in this movie.
Yeah, but it's like they really don't know what to do with her in this movie. They're just like, get her off the screen as much as possible.
She's used as a plot device in this last part, and I'm guessing this is where they go back to the ship, and they find the clown using the bendy straw to suck the cotton candy.
He's sucking the people juice
Did
out
you
of the
guys
thing.
ever have a bendy straw growing up?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
I had one
I don't think
too.
I like bendy straws. They were always breaking.
I had one that was nowhere near as elaborate as this one. It was much smaller, but it was really hard to clean.
Yes.
You couldn't
Yes.
get like soap in that weird bend.
Yeah.
Did you love it so much that like
yeah.
you wouldn't part with it and it got all like crusty and
It
gross?
did get crusty and gross.
And it was clear too. We had them, they were called
Yeah.
crazy straws.
Yeah.
You couldn't bend them, but they were just in like crazy configurations.
Yeah.
Ever since big health, I guess, made us get rid of all our straws. Otherwise, there'd be bendy straws all over the place.
The environmentalists.
I hate
got
those
rid of
paper
it.
straws.
You can still get
can-
plastic straws at some places. You just have to ask for it.
I know.
They should make them edible, or you should carry around a metal straw like some people do. Be one of
Yeah.
those freaks.
Those
Be like, I
kill
got
my
metal-
teeth.
I do not like metal straws.
Metal on my teeth is.
Do you bite your straws, April?
Yeah.
Is
You
that why?
can't help it by accident sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're sucking down that I don't know smoothie, and you're like,
The people
way.
juice.
wait,
Yeah.
I want to make a correction. The Menendez brothers did not produce Fright Night 2. That
Okay.
would be weird. They were children. Their father did.
It was
and
okay. That
The
makes
guy
sense.
who's dead now. Gotcha.
yeah, he's like a
Jesus.
distributor, and that's why it
Did
led
they
to that. So.
just like really not like the movie or something? Is that why?
I'm trying to read it. Why? I think it's just because he was involved. It's weird that it didn't like return to another rights owners, but I know that that's one of the. Everybody brings that up when they're like, "Oh, we don't talk about Fright Night 2. We can't release it on Blu-ray."
Weird.
I never saw
Anyway,
it, but I like the
It's
first one.
okay. It's basically the first Fright Night, except like the two characters, Roddy McDowell, and I don't remember what the other guy's name is. They're like, "Oh, did it actually happen to us? Oh no, we just imagined it, but now it's happening again." Yeah, there's a werewolf now. That's the difference.
Really?
It's a vampire and a werewolf.
Oh
Yep.
my god! Why gotta watch that?
But Chris Sarandon, I'm guessing, not in it because he died in the
No,
first
he
one.
died. I think it's his sister is supposed to be the gag.
Susan
in
Susan
the movie.
Sarandon.
Oh my God, Susan Sarandon as a vampire, sign me up.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Wait, isn't Susan Sarandon? That's not his sister? Weren't they
I
married?
think they're cousins.
No, I
Wait,
don't
no,
know.
we looked this up recently.
I
For
can't.
an episode of
forget.
No Such Thing as a Bad Movie.
I can't remember.
I don't know. I think they're brother and sister.
Wasn't she a vampire in the? No, wait, not the Hunger. What was that?
Yes.
Susan Sarandon.
The Hunger.
It was
The
really-
David
Yeah, Hunger,
Bowie.
the Tony Scott
David
movie.
Bowie
It was a Tony
movie.
Scott
Yeah.
movie. It was really sexy.
Nope, she was married to Chris Sarandon from 1967 to 1979.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
Anyway.
She's going to write us an angry letter now.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah, I'm subscribing from your
this
podcast.
movie needs to wrap up.
I was never a Patreon subscriber, but I enjoyed your podcast.
So we have to get to the climax here. So throughout the movie, we've only seen 5 clowns, and I'm like,
Yeah.
they only have 5 clowns. But during this end sequence, a whole bunch come digitally duplicated or just crappy
no, they
masks.
just
I don't
crappy
think so.
masks.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they just made crappy versions of the mask so they could have like 25 clowns on screen at once.
We skipped over a very funny scene, though, where a security guard is like, what are you going to do with those pies to the clowns?
yeah.
Yeah, he gets pied and a whole
They
bunch of
throw
pies.
a million pies on him and they melt him.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like acid pies or something. Which, okay, when we get to the end, I have some questions.
Yes.
So yeah,
I
there-
was very disappointed, though, that there's a clown car pulls up and only 5 clowns get out. That's not funny.
I'm telling
I
you,
want to see like 30 clowns.
They only had 5. They only had 5 costumes made.
5 hero costumes.
Yeah.
And I know what you're going to talk about, Colin, because I had the same question when the film freeze framed it.
Yeah, maybe that's
I'm like,
why
is that
there's
the end
no.
of our heroes?
Maybe that's why there's no sequel.
Yeah.
Everyone's dead.
So we're in the big spaceship, big top. Like we talked about earlier, it's a lot of empty blackness with a bunch of cutouts of dinosaurs
So
and stuff like
they
that.
rescue our female lead by shooting the ball she's in. He doesn't have a knife. Come on, Mr. Cop.
Did you say cops carry knives around?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't they?
I don't
Isn't
know.
that's just like a tool. Like what if you get caught on something? And have
Colin,
to
we're
cut-
manly
cut
men. We carry
yourself?
knives around, right?
Yeah, that's why
We
they
get
have
caught in
guns.
something.
They just shoot themselves free.
Definitely should be carrying pocket knives, cops.
What? Don't tell them to carry.
Don't
more
tell them to
weapons.
carry more weapons.
Jesus.
They need something to fight back against those edged weapons.
Yeah, there was an episode. Yeah, what is that? Protecting yourself from edged weapons video?
Surviving edged weapons, I
Yeah.
think.
One of the greatest videos of all time. I saw in Mythbusters, though, you can't blow a balloon up like this by shooting it. That's just a movie fiction.
Really
I'm not surprised.
interesting.
No, I was kidding. Because they once did an episode about shooting off a lock and that you can't do that with a gun.
A lock, I could see. A balloon, okay, you probably could do that.
You guys believed me? You're like, balloons, the bullet's traveling too fast.
I
When
was
it
like,
hits the
yeah, that
balloon, it
makes
ricochets
sense.
off.
Makes sense to
Well,
me.
if Adam Savage says so.
Okay, so did you think you liked 20 small clowns? How about one big clown?
Yeah, this is kind of cool. It's like
I was a little disappointed. It was supposed to be stop motion, and I think they either got talked out of it or ran out of time, so they did it just as a man in suit.
I
would've
think it works.
It does work, but I would have preferred stop motion, obviously. But
It would have just been like a different flavor instead of like,
Yeah.
another clown
Well,
suit.
they kind of like overcrank it, so it's it's got some mass. It's kind of cool. I like it. I like how it just like smashes the shit out of the Tarazzo brothers'
yeah.
ice cream
And
van.
then explode and die. And will it be shocking to learn that at the end, all the survivors were done in reshoots? Because audiences were
Really?
like,
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
oh, we don't want these characters to die. Like everyone who looks like they die at the end died in the original cut of the film.
Okay, well, that's good.
Okay, and then
But,
they're all
yeah.
pied in the face before end
Yes.
credits, so they do all die, I guess.
But yeah,
Well, we can get to the end because, the cop says that, oh, I'll stay back for some reason and distract the clown.
He fights
Yeah.
the big bad, and then uses his badge, the pin on his badge, to pop its nose.
pop its nose.
The only thing a cop's badge has ever done right.
It gets like it gets like picked up by the giant clown, and that shot looked really good. I just wanted
Yeah.
to say.
I wish it was like he was like a little stop motion guy. Like,
Yeah.
This is
I
you-
love it
this
when
is you
guys get
saying
turned into stop
you
motion.
want it to look worse because it would look better. You know what I mean?
well, he's a little doll when he gets picked
Yeah,
up.
Yeah.
he's not moving, but
I like.
Yeah.
I thought it was effective.
it was good. But yeah, I'm thinking of like Empire of the Dark or something.
I
when
know.
he,
I
like,
can't. I'm thinking about that too because that stop motion.
Joe Palazzo
monster.
or-
Joe Palazzo.
That's a classic.
Pilato.
I mean, it's a King Kong thing. They even built a big hand to pick the guy up.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh!
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was a cute touch. So
Yeah,
the whole place blows
The whole
up.
okay, so the brothers, the ice cream brothers, are dead in
Yeah,
flames.
they blew up in their car.
Yeah.
You can hear them screaming, burning alive. The cop,
Burning alive.
the whole big top is blown up. In midair, he's like hundreds of feet in the air, and then this big clown car falls on the ground, and who gets
Yeah.
out? It's like the cop and the two ice cream brothers.
And they're like, we just hid in the freezer with the ice cream.
Who wants some
Which-
ice cream?
My favorite gag of that is at the end of Hudson Hawk when what's his name? He's in Do the Right Thing. I always confuse him with Mike Barr, and it's not who he is.
Danny Aiello?
Yeah, Danny Aiello. Classic guy who was in the Madonna music video. And then made his own song about Papa not being so bad.
Oh,
Look
God.
it up. It actually exists. At the end of Hudson Hawk, he dies too. He drives off a cliff. He explodes. And then in the last scene, he comes back and he's like, whoa, you're alive? And then Bruce Willis goes, oh, you must have like climbed in the back of the truck. And that's how you survived the explosion. And Danny Aiello goes, yeah, that's probably what happened.
That's definitely what happened.
Dismissing it.
Hey, this is almost that, but no, like the cop guy is just like, oh, those Scoleri brothers, you can't get them down.
Oh, those Menendez brothers.
Yeah.
Those wacky adventures.
So-
The producers
Yeah.
of Fright Night 2? No, you're confusing them with their father.
so
Jesse
the
Mendes.
big top turns into a spaceship, flies away.
We've covered this. It blows
So
up.
it exploded.
Oh no,
Everyone
it
survived.
explodes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, as soon as he pops the big bad's nose, the whole thing goes
So
up.
was that like the motor? He was powering the ship, the giant clown.
I
He
wouldn't
was
read
filled
into it
with
too much.
gasoline.
I must know the logistics of this.
He was filled with the pie acid or something.
Yeah, he was made of pie.
April needs the like rule book that you get, like the guidebook
Yeah.
of the killer clowns. Like, what can they do? What can't they do?
Yeah,
You gotta stick to them
the
rules.
show Bible.
Yeah, it's like the lore.
Yeah, show Bible.
It was like, David Lynch's Dune, where they would go around handing out pamphlets before the movie started, like explaining
Do you think they did that during Killer Clowns?
explaining
Like,
what
let's clear this
what
up.
the lore is and what the words mean.
But yeah, they're like, wow, and then our heroes get hit by pies.
Yeah, is it over? And then pies come from off screen. And
And then there's a freeze frame because if we stayed one more second, they'd be screaming and
okay,
turning into
here's
skeletons.
What I'm gonna say. I think it's like a low grade acid. So if you got one pie, you could just wipe it off and be fine. But that other guy, he got like 100 pies.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I think that if it's all surrounding you, it's like, oh, I can't get out. But if you just got one, it would kind of be like
a facial.
poison ivy. It's like, oh, it hurts, but I can just wipe it off. So
They got it in their eyes, though. Their eyes.
Oh, my eyes. And that's
Killer
Killer
Clowns.
Clowns.
Yeah, right when they get hit by the pies, they know what the audience wants.
Reminded me of that Ernest song because it was like, obviously it's a different song, but it's like, yeah, start your movie out with a banging song and it kind of gets you in the mood and then end with it as well. Because so many movies have a song at the end that's the one written for the movie. Sometimes it's a rap, sometimes
Dream Warriors.
it's not. Yeah,
Maniac
Dream
Cop
Warriors,
2
too.
has a rap at the end of it.
It sure does, yeah. 2020 we watched all 3 Maniac Cops and I can barely remember some of them.
I mean, that's a lot of diminishing. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think Maniac Cop 2 is better than Maniac Cop 1. That one has a lot of crazy stunts in
Honestly,
it because
the
the
one-
director
Yeah.
wanted to make a Hong Kong film for some reason.
What was the one where there was a car chase when the car is on
That's
fire?
the second one, I think, right?
That's the third one
Oh, God.
that he's on fire.
That is
and the Maniac
amazing.
Cop is driving and he's on fire. The second one has a long sequence where he's on fire and he goes in a jail and he fights like 7 guys.
Oh, okay.
All the time on
Oh, I
fire. Yeah,
think-
they love fire
I
gags.
think we might need to rewatch.
Yeah, that car
Maniac
chase was
Cop
fantastic.
2 and 3.
The stunt coordinator of those Maniac Cop films, Spiro Razos, who would go on to do the Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Yeah, he's like the most famous like stunt guy in Hollywood,
Wow.
pretty much.
Anyway, don't know why we're talking about Maniac Cop. Killer
A
Clowns.
rap at the end of Maniac Cop 2.
Oh yeah, that's
why.
right. So Killer Clowns, not my favorite horror movie. It's definitely more of a campy
yeah.
movie, but yeah. So I mean, I think maybe if you saw this when you were younger, you might have a little more nostalgia for it. We didn't have that, but I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was kind of just like mid-range.
It was okay.
Like it had some fun parts to it. It was silly, but I probably wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah.
And I think that if you know what it is, which I didn't know what it was, I knew nothing about it. Then you kind of know what you're gonna get, which is kind of a parody, but also like a bit of like a straight up monster horror movie with a campy element, like a 50s movie.
I thought it was great for what it was trying to do, which was like updating the 50s,
Yeah.
creature template. Basically, it's like the 50s creature film you wish you got when you were a teenager, where
Yeah.
you're like, can we just get the clowns like 5 minutes in, we see a full body of them,
Without the
and then they
boring
just
parts.
do wild stuff that's not particularly funny.
No,
Yeah.
not really. A lot of those.
At one point, one of the guys is like, but these clowns aren't funny. And I'm like, I agree with you.
yeah, it's like when they go into the pharmacy. That scene goes on and
Like
on.
they
and
don't
on.
have the kind of like Gremlins, anarchy of like, oh, it's fun to watch them do all this wild stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's not wild enough.
And they're just so ugly looking. Like it's not for me. It's not fun looking at them.
Right.
I agree, but like, I wasn't terrible. So if you want to watch this movie, it's on it's on
iTunes.
Rentable off iTunes.
And the video game is coming
apparently
out soon.
check out the video game.
I think it's next year.
Oh, next year?
Yeah.
Well,
I think it said 2023.
Oh, man, that's really far to make you wait for a Killer Klowns video
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've waited since 1988.
so long. We could wait a little bit longer.
What good does that
yes.
do me?
The game that you will not play when it is released.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That will have terrible reviews.
I mean, there was an Evil Dead game that came out and people didn't like that
Yeah,
either. So.
apparently it was like the same type of game.
Yeah, those types of
Yeah,
games.
same exact game.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. If you want to email the podcast, we're at nosuchthingasabadmovie@gmail.com, and we're on Twitter at nosuchthingpod. And if you would like to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/nosuchthingasabadmovie. As we mentioned, $2 level, you get submitted into the lottery to get picked, to possibly pick an episode every couple months. And then if you're on the $5 level, you get a bonus episode every 2 weeks, a mini episode. We just recorded one on popular horror movie that just came out and is still in theaters, Barbarian. And if you want to find me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at April at Mansky.
You can find me online at DeClux, DCLOUX, the letter J. And if you are free on October 29th at 11 a.m. on Twitch, I don't remember what the name is, I will be doing a 24-hour horror movie mind melter.
Ooh.
For more info, you can just check my Twitter page, the pin tweet, DeClux, DCLOUX, the letter J.
Always a fun time, those movie marathons.
Mm-hmm. You can follow me on Twitter, Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA.
And that's it for this week. Get ready for more spooky movies, you guys.
Ooh.
And like I said, I think maybe we should go into November because there's just not enough weeks in October. We should do more because there's just so many good, bad horror movies out there. Mm-hmm. Thanks for joining us. I'm April Atmansky.
I'm a Justin Demon DeClux.
I'm Colin Crazy Cunningham.
Yeah! And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.